Confederate soldier. When they put up the new walls in the cemetery, only have 972 names that we know of the men that are buried there. Well, I was sitting on the second floor of the museum, and Amy and Dan were there. Brad, and you know Amy's serious when she says that, there's got to be these records. She said, Brad, go find them. I went out and did research, and finally, at that moment, timing is everything in your research and your journey, we found the Samuel Hollingsworth Stout records at the University of Texas at Austin. 200 beds in it. You can imagine what was going on, and the surgery was done in the hospital, or in the churches. Now, the way Stout set up his hospitals, he had a main building that he did the surgery in, and he kept all the amputees in that building, on the floor. Then he had tents going out in each direction. One direction would have certain diseases. Another, each of the directions had different pain, and it was as large as depot. A gentleman, Carton, of the 2nd Minnesota, would say, I am surprised the buildings in Marietta do not explode because we have so many supplies in them. The hospital beds are all full, and we have as many as 2,000 tents surrounding the town square, full of sick and wounded. Now, the 3 churches here were the 16th Army Corps Hospital's 9th Ward. George Cadman of the 39th Ohio was actually in the First Baptist Church, just on the corner of Kennesaw Ave and Church Street, and he would write a letter to his mother while he's there. Dear Mother, I'm in Marietta, Georgia. It must have been a beautiful city before the Confederates took everything that was working. Beautiful, wide, clean streets with maple trees covering the town square. And I'm in a church, the Baptist Church in Marietta, and it is like almost, looks like almost the church that I grew up in. With wounded. Julia McClatchy, whose home was just down the street a little bit, said she would wake up every morning tearing bed sheets to be used as bandages. And my mother would make up a liquid boiled with bark off a tree to give the soldiers something of flavor. They would come over, and the entire area was filled with soldiers and their blood-soaked stretchers. She kneeled down next to a young man who couldn't have been 17 years of age, lifted his head as he had the bandage around his head, and tried to give him something to drink. Before she had placed his head back on the stretcher, he had died to be buried as an unknown. That does not give Samuel Hollingsworth Stout the utmost incredible credit.
Are you getting source documents or copies, like from the University of Texas?
Well, we got, and that was funny, at the University of Texas, after Amy prodded me to find this stuff, I call out there and say, are these accessible records?